Welcome to another episode of Low Budget Shooting. What I've got today is a Remington Model 10, which has an issue that if you pump the gun really fast, the trigger drops just like a slam fire gun. This is a striker fired shotgun, and this one is the one prior to the Model 31 when the shells actually ejected out of the bottom when you pump the shotgun. I'm not sure what's going on with it yet. This one was made in 1930, but like right now this is the button for the action release, and when you cock this thing back, if you go back slow, here's the striker part right now, it's out. So you go forward slow, you'll see that button pops out, which means that it's ready to fire, and when I pull the trigger it fires. But if I take this guy and I pump it really fast, it's hard to do without this stock, and get your finger back there and you'll smash it. When you go really fast, see, the button's still down, it won't fire. If I go slow and come forward, now the button is out and you can pull the trigger. But every time you go fast, it'll keep going. So I have a feeling there's something wrong with the sear, and I am going to take this gun apart in order to find out what it is. So in order to take this gun apart, and we're going to zoom in here a little bit, there is a little button that's right up here on the front that you pull down, and it makes this lever come out, and you just take this thing and then you twist this out. That pulls the tube out of the bottom. This is a takedown. Then you can slide this out, the action comes out, and you just twist the barrel and this comes apart. So now the striker is in the out position. Now we can pull the trigger assembly back out. The next thing, there is a little mechanism in here that holds the plate that flips back and forth to load the shells. It is spring loaded in here. I don't know if you can see it. It's this guy right here, and there's a little spring on the end of it, and that actually pops back and forth. So when you pull this guy out, that pops back a little bit, and now what you can do to slide the bolt out, and it's very difficult to see, there's a little button right in here that you have to move out of the way so you can lift the bolt up. So, and this is fun. It's not simple. There we go. There we go. So now the bolt lifts up, and then you can slide it back. And when you slide the bolt back, the flapper will come out with it. There it comes. And then you can take that out, and that flap runs right in the side of this little cam mechanism right here. This is where it twists right in there. So now this is the striker, and it has the firing pin in it, and this guy right here, this little lever, is the sear, and when the trigger comes down, it pushes down on that, and then that thing flies back in, and you can't really see it, but the sear is right in here, and it goes right in the back part of it right here. I have a feeling that's rounded off, and it's very hard to see. They are round, but I also think that the back part of this might be from years of use, might have actually got worn back on an angle a little bit, and so when you go really fast, the sear just slips out of there. So I'm going to take this bolt apart and get all that out and look at it and see what I can find out, and we'll be doing that next. One other thing I'd like to point out before I start tearing this all down, this area right here is where the action rod, right there, that rides in this track just like this, and when you pump the gun, it goes back in here and it actually pushes the striker back, it actually pushes this block back from inside there. And you can kind of see right there is the striker that is inside of the bolt, and that's what gets pushed back. Okay, before you take this apart, the first thing that has to be done is the striker has to be removed, and the firing pin has to be back in that position. So you do that, push that down, that goes back in. The next thing you have to do is knock out these two pins. One. Two. And then you have to knock out this pin too. That one came out pretty easy. So what that does is that loosens up this right here, so now you can slide this whole thing back. So now the whole assembly just slides back, and you can pull it all out. Sort of. I must not knock that pin out all the way. Yep, it's out. There we go. Hold on a minute, let me lift this up. There we go. Okay, so now what just happened, I slid that out, and here's the striker assembly, the sear assembly right here, and that does look pretty rounded off. I don't have a new one to compare it to, but I'm thinking that that is the problem right there. And then this comes out, and this is pretty nasty and pretty gunked up. So what happens is trying to get this in focus. Okay. So when this thing goes to fire, the sear drops out, and that allows that to go forward. And what I'm looking at in here, there's really not any lip left to hold that on there. I'm thinking that this piece is going to need to be replaced. And this piece right here, the striker needs to be replaced, and this piece. Okay, I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to try to zoom in here. We're going on a magnifying through a magnifying. You can see my pointer there, the little brass point. That's the old one on top, and if you can see where it's pointing, that sear is tilted back. It's worn back. And if you look at the one on the bottom, which is the new one, you can see that it's more straight. So I have a feeling that's the problem with this gun. Also, what I've found out is this part right here that we had. There was two shotguns of this time period. I believe I said the Model 10, and then towards the end of the production run of the Model 10, they came out with the Model 29, and there were some changes. And this right here, the sear goes up against this right here. This is the striker, the firing pin, is from a Model 29. Because the Model 10 had another piece of metal that was out here. I don't know what that metal was for, but it looks like they machined it off, and they've got this. So it's possible somebody tried to fix this before, and they used a Model 29 part to try to fix it, when in reality the problem was that sear. So let's put it back together and see if this works. So put that in. You want it sticking out a little bit. Goes in like that. Get this in the track. There we go. And then inside here you got the little hole that the flapper's got to go in, which I can't see. There. It's in. Okay, and then this just slides down and then it drops into place like so. That went very nicely. And then you've got this little metal cam piece that we pulled out earlier, which needs to go down in here, and then you just got to pull the flap mechanism, the shell carrier. This is going to push forward a little bit. There's a notch in it, so that this notch that's right, I don't know, the best way to show it to you is right there. That's got to go in it, so we just slide this down in here and then push this forward a little bit, and then boom, it goes right in. So now that is all complete. You can tell that the hammer is back because this button is out, and that is locked into place. So now we can take this trigger mechanism, and I'm going to put a little bit of grease on here because that's going to hit the sear, and that will slide right in there like so. Make sure that that's on top of the sear, and yes it is. It's not sliding all the way in. There it goes. Okay, and so I'm going to, where is, found it. That goes in here to hold your trigger in. Let me get the right screwdriver for it. Okay, this is one of those ones that uses another screw to hold it captive. And that will be one of these, not that one. And once again, you want to use the correct bit. Okay, that's in place. This is another one that the screw needs to be put in and then held captive. And once again, we'll find the right one for this. That is it. Trying to find the indentation. Believe it's that one. Let me double check. Yes, it is. There. Now let me put the front of the gun on, and then we'll see if it racks back and stays in place. Okay, so here we are. We're going to rack the slide really fast right now. And you can see the button is up for the action release, which tells me that the trigger is ready to fire. And let's just try it again really fast. And it's up, it's ready to fire. So there you go. That was the problem. It was the little sear mechanism. You know, since 1930, you know, the thing's worn down. I mean, come on, 94 years. God, you'd think they would make things better than that. Anyways, I'll get this put back together, put the stock on it, and get it to the customer. Hopefully they'll be satisfied. I hope this all was able to help you guys out. Shoot safe, subscribe. I only need like 30 more subscribers, and then I'll be a millionaire. Or not. All right, take care. Thanks for watching.